Hello everyone, welcome to Alfonso Academy. My name is Peter Alfonso and we are into the third part of chapter gravitation. So in this part we are going to find out the magnitude of centripetal force which acts towards the sun when a planet is revolving around the sun. And then we are going to see the Newton's inverse square law of gravitation and we are going to solve some numericals. So for any uniform circular motion there exists a centripetal force. We had seen this earlier. For any uniform circular motion there exists a centripetal force which acts towards the center. Its magnitude is given as F equal to mv square upon r, where F is the centripetal force which acts towards the center. M is the mass of the object which revolves in that circular path, and v is the speed of the object. R is the distance of the object from the center. Now, if you consider a planet revolving around the sun in a circular path with a uniform speed, then this centripetal force, this magnitude of centripetal force is also applicable over there. So, F will be the centripetal force which will act towards the surface of the sun. M will be the mass of the object, mass of the planet. V will be the speed of the planet with which it is revolving, and R will be the distance of the planet from the sun. So now earlier standards you had studied speed is equal to distance upon time. So speed is equal to distance upon time. Distance upon time. So what is the distance traveled? It is nothing but circumference of the circle, because the planet covers one full revolution in a circular path. So it will be considered as the circumference, which is nothing but 2 pi r. The formula for circumference of circle is 2 pi r. So distance will be considered to be 2 pi r. 2 pi r. And time will be nothing but capital T. The period of revolution, the time taken for completing one full revolution, was considered to be capital T. It is capital T. Speed is v. So instead of v, you can substitute this 2 pi r by t. So what you will get? F equal to m. This v will be 2 pi r divided by t, the whole square, and then r. Now you can just solve this, whatever is there in the bracket. What you will get? F equal to, this will be 2 square 4 m pi square r square, and then t square will come down in the denominator, so r t square. Now next step, you have to multiply and divide by r. On your textbook it is multiplied and divided by r square, but here I am not cancelling this r first only. On your textbook it is cancelled first and then it is again multiplied and divided by r square. Instead of that, just multiply and divide by r. So what you will get? Multiply and divide by r. So you will get it as F equal to 4 m pi square. This will be r cube. So just put that separately, r cube separately, and here it will be r square, and this t square you can put it here separately. So 4 m pi square into r cube divided by r square t square. So now you take this the other side. Now Kepler's third law says that the square of the period of revolution, which is t square, the square of the period of revolution of the planet around the sun, is directly proportional to the cube of the mean distance of the planet from the sun. So t square was proportional to r cube. This was the Kepler's third law. And then we gave the constant as capital K. So t square was proportional to r cube by Kepler's third law, and then t square equal to kr cube. So what is the value of k? T square divided by r cube. Now we need here r cube divided by t square. So r cube is in the denominator. So we have to just take the denominator into numerator and numerator in the denominator on both the sides. So this becomes 1 by k is equal to r cube divided by t square. And now you can substitute for r cube divided by t square as 1 by k. So f will be equal to 4m pi square, 4m pi square divided by r square, and r cube divided by t square becomes 1 by k. So this will be 1 by k. So now you can see this equation f equal to 4m pi square 1 by k. In the denominator there is r square this side. So this is all constant. 4 is constant, m mass will be always constant. Then pi square, it has a value 3.14, that is also a constant. K is a constant. So this is all constant. So f, it is like, if you want to remove this equality sign and if you want to give the proportionality sign, then it will become like this. F is proportional to 1 by r square. So this is all constant. Again you want to give the equality sign, then again you can replace the constant over here. So f is proportional to 1 by r square. Now Newton took help of Kepler's third law for getting this relation, and this is nothing but the Newton's inverse square law of gravitation. It says that the force, the centripetal force which acts towards the sun is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the planet and the sun. So it depends, the force depends only on the distance between the planet and the sun. So it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the planet and the sun. So Newton had taken the help of the Kepler's third law to get this relation, and this is called as the inverse square law of gravitation. This gravitational force is very, very weak if it is compared with other forces in our nature, but still this gravitational force controls our universe and it decides the future of our universe. Of course, this is possible because of the huge masses of the stars, the planets and other heavenly bodies in our universe. So next we will solve few numericals whichever are there on your textbook. The first numerical says that Mahendra and Virat are sitting 1 meter away from each other. Mahendra's mass is 75 kg, Virat's mass is 80 kg, and you are asked to find the gravitational force which is acting between the two. So what is given? The distance between them is given, which is 1 meter. They are sitting 1 meter away from each other. And then mass of Mahendra is 75 kg, mass of Virat is 80 kg. And you know the value for universal gravitational constant, which is capital G, 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So let's solve it. So we have to take the formula for the gravitational force between two objects, which is F equal to capital G m1 m2 divided by d square. You can also take it as small r square. So F equal to capital G m1 m2 divided by d square. So I have to learn this formula well. So next, substitute the values for all this. Capital G will be 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11. Mass 1 will be 75 kg, mass 2 will be 80 kg. And then the distance, it is 1 meter. 1 meter. So units we are not writing here. It's 1 square. Unit will directly write for force, which is Newton. So F equal to this. So let's solve it. So 75 into 80 is what? 75 1s are 75, 75 2s are 150, 75 4s are it is 300, and 75 8s are it is 300 plus 300, which is 600, and then this 0 it comes to 6000. So 6 into 10 raised to 3. You can also write 6000 as 6 into 10 raised to 3, which are 3 zeros after 6. And next 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11. So 1 square we don't need to write in the denominator, otherwise also there is 1. So f equal to, next we have to multiply this, 6 into 6.67. So let's multiply this, 6.67 into 6. 7 6 is 42, carry 4, 6 6 is 36 plus 4 is 40, carry 4 and same 40. So point after 1 and 2 places. So 40.02. So this will be 40.02 into minus 11 plus 3. 11 minus 3 is what? 8, and sign of the greater number. So 10 raised to minus 8. Next, you can take the decimal point, decide, make it 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7. So since you are taking one decimal point this side, making it a smaller number, 10 goes the other side, 10 raised to 1. So minus 8 plus 1 is minus 7. So of course you have to write the Newton unit as Newton. So this is the gravitational force which is acting between Mahendra and Virat when they are sitting 1 meter away from each other. So this number looks a very big number, but the value of this force is very small, because since it is 10 raised to minus 7, when you are taking this 10 raised to minus 7 in the denominator, it becomes 10 raised to 7. So there are 7 zeros after 1, and this 4.002 you have to divide by that big number. So the value for this force becomes very small. The value comes very small, and you can see that the gravitational force between Mahendra and Virat is very less. So there is no chance of Mahendra and Virat attracting each other, because there is frictional force where they are sitting. So if frictional force between them becomes 0, then there is a chance of Mahendra and Virat coming little bit close to each other. So in the next example, it is assumed that the bench on which Mahendra is sitting is frictionless. That means force of friction is 0. So definitely gravitational force will come into play and Mahendra will move towards Virat. So you are asked to find the velocity with which Mahendra will move towards Virat in 1 second. And then you are asked to find if the velocity will change with respect to time and how it will change. So in the last problem we had found out the gravitational force between Mahendra and Virat. So we have that as F equal to 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton, and then we are having the mass of Mahendra, which is 75 kg. So what you are asked to find? The velocity with which Mahendra will move towards Virat in time equal to 1 second. 1 second. So you had studied Newton's equations of motions in last standard, in 9th standard. First equation was v equal to u plus at. So from here you can get the velocity. Second equation was s equal to ut plus half at square, and the last equation was v square equal to u square plus 2as. So here time is given, so we can take this equation, the first equation which has time, it has velocity. So v equal to u plus at. So you are having as 0 because Mahendra is sitting on the bench, so the initial velocity will be 0, plus a we are not having, so a we have to find out. Using Newton's second law, you had got one formula, force is equal to mass into acceleration. By using that formula you can get the formula for acceleration. So force was equal to mass into acceleration, so acceleration will be equal to force divided by mass. So I have just shifted m this side. Force was equal to mass into acceleration, m I have got this side, so acceleration becomes equal to force divided by mass. So using this formula you can get the acceleration, because force you are having, mass also you are having, so acceleration will be, force is what, 4.002 into 10 raised to minus 7, mass is 75 kg. So in order to divide this, you have to take out the decimal to the right. If you are taking the decimal points to the right, we have to multiply the number by the power 10 raised to whatever places you are shifting it to the right. So it will be 10 raised to 1, 2, 3, 3 places, 10 raised to minus 3. So you will get it as a acceleration equal to 4002 into 10 raised to minus 3 and minus 7, minus 3 minus 7 is minus 10, 10 raised to minus 10, and then divide by 75. Then we can divide it. Of course the unit is the meter per second square, so when we are dividing it, 4002 divided by 75, 75 4 is 300, 75 5 is 375. So 25 is the remainder. Take 2 down, 75, 3 is 225. So you get the remainder as 27. Next you can take a decimal and take a 0 here. So 3 are again 225, remainder is 45. So it is 53.3. So 53.3, 10 raised to minus 10. So acceleration will be, again you can get it one decimal this side. So 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 9. So 10 raised to 1 gets multiplied to this figure if you are getting the decimal to the left. So this will be your acceleration. Of course, the unit is meter per second square. So you can substitute this acceleration into the main formula and get the velocity now. So velocity will be equal to what? U will be equal to 0 because Mahendra is sitting on the bench. He is at rest. So U will be equal to 0. So directly we can substitute acceleration and time and get the velocity. So we are asked to find out for 1 second. So acceleration will be 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 9, and then this 1 second. So this is the velocity. Velocity equal to 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter per second. So this is the velocity of Mahendra when he is moving towards Virat in 1 second. So this is the answer for that question. And next, what is the question? You are told to find if the velocity will change with respect to time. Yes, it will change with respect to time. As time increases, velocity will also increase because time is multiplied to the acceleration. So definitely velocity will increase. So if this becomes 2, this number will get double. So if this becomes 3, this number will get triple. So as the time increases, velocity increases. Now this value of Mahendra's velocity after 1 second, we can write it in this way also by splitting the decimal. At 0 point so many number of times 0, then 533 meter per second. This is extremely small value for velocity, but velocity increases with time. Now what about acceleration? Does acceleration increases with time? Answer is yes. But how? See, when Mahendra moves towards Virat, the distance decreases. If the distance decreases, then definitely force will decrease, because distance decreases, denominator decreases, this value will become more. If this value becomes more, force will increase. Now, force increases, then acceleration increases. So this is from Newton's second law. So if force increases, acceleration increases. When distance decreases, gravitational force will increase. So acceleration will also increase with time. Of course, if velocity increases, also acceleration increases. This formula indicates that velocity increases, acceleration increases. This is the also other way to think, but it can be proved like this, that if force increases, acceleration increases with time. Now, assuming the acceleration is in example 2 above remains constant. Now we all know that acceleration increases with time, but we are assuming that acceleration remains constant because we want to find something. So how long will Mahendra take to move 1 centimeter towards Virat? So what we have to find? The time which Mahendra takes to move 1 centimeter towards Virat. So which formula you will use from here? Newton's equations of motion. Just pause the video and think and answer which formula you are going to use. Just pause the video. Okay, so this is the formula you are going to use. Why? Because it has both distance as well as time. So we are given the distance here 1 centimeter meter, and you are told to find the time. No other formula has both distance and time. So you are going to use that formula, the second formula, S equal to ut plus half at square. So distance you are having, so distance is 1 centimeter, it is converted into meter, the SI unit, and then it is written like this, 1 into 10 raised to negative 2. So as you are before substitution, you are all knowing that u is equal to 0. So you will get it as S equal to half at square. Now we have to find t. So t will keep one side, rest of the things will take the other side. So what you will get, t square, this 2 will go here, so 2s, and this a will come in the denominator. So 2s divided by a. We had found the acceleration as 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 9. So t square equal to 2 into distance is 0.01 meter and acceleration is 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter per second square. So this was the acceleration. So now we can multiply and then divide the terms. So t square will be equal to 0.02. This meter we can cancel. And then this 5.33. So instead of writing this in the denominator 10 raised to negative 9, you can take it in the numerator and write it as 10 raised to positive 9. Even same thing with the second raised to minus 2, you can take it in the numerator, it will become positive. So second square. So now you can divide this. In order to divide this, you have to remove the decimal first so that it becomes easy. So to remove the decimals, we can multiply and divide by 100. So this will become 2 and this will become 533. So t square equal to 2 divided by 533 into 10 raised to 9 second square. So now it's bit easy to divide. So t square will be equal to 2 into 10 raised to 9 and then divided by 533 second square. So now in order to divide 2 by 533, it seems to be little bit complicated like. So what I'll do, I'll take 3 zeros from this 10 raised to 9 to this 2 and make it 2000. Then 2000 divided by 533, it will be a bit simpler. So it will be t square equal to 2000 into 10 raised to 6, because I have taken 3 zeros from this 10 raised to 9 to here, and this becomes 10 raised to 6. Next, divided by 533 second square. Now it is easy to divide 2000 by 533. 2000 divided by 533. So here we will get 0, 0, 0, 3 is 1599. So it is one short of 1600. That 400. So 400, 1 will be the remainder. Next, take a decimal, take a 0 here. So 533, let's try it with multiplying by 7. So 7 3s is 21, carry 2, again 21 and 2, 23, and this is 37. So 3731, 3731, this is 7 over here. So again subtract this, what you will get, remove 1 from 10, you will get 9, then this one is gone over here, so 0 is the remainder. So again remove 3 from 10, it's 7, here this becomes 9, so remove 7 from 9, it's 2, and here it is 0. So take one more 0, 2790. Now 533 into, you can try it with 5. 533 into 5. So 5 3s are 15, carry 1, and 2625. 2625. So here there will be remainder which does not matter. This 5 you have to take here. So the quotient is 3.75. So t square equal to 3.75 into 10 raised to 6 second square. Now you have to take this square on the other side. It will become a square root. So t will be equal to square root of 3.75 into 10 raised to 6 second square. So t will be equal to, you can make this a full figure 375, remove the decimals, because it will be difficult for you to remove the square root of numbers with decimals. So this two zeros, another two zeros, you can multiply here and make this root of 375 into 10 raised to 4. Square root of second square will be seconds. You can take that out straightforward. Seconds. So now square root of 10 raised to 4, it will be 100, because 100 into 100 is 10 raised to 4, which is 10,000. So t will be equal to 10 raised to 2. You are already getting this out, 10 raised to 4. So in the square root there will be 375 and this seconds outside. So what is the square root of 375? There are no calculators, no logarithmic books allowed for the exam, so you have to do these calculations by your own self. So you must be knowing squares of the numbers. 15 square is 225, 16 square is 256, 17 square is 289, 18 square is 324, 19 square is 361. It is a bit closer because after that it is 20 square, which is 400. So answer will be this answer will be somewhere around just above 19. So you can try it. You can try first 19.1 into 19.1, multiply and see. Then see 19.2 into 19.2. I guess it will be somewhere around 19.3. So let's try 19.3 into 19.3. 3 into 3 is 9. Next, 9 into 3 is 27. Carry 2. 3 into 1 is 3 plus that 2, 579. Then next, 9 into 3 is 27. Carry 2. 9 into 9 is 81 plus 2, 83. Carry 8. 9 into 1 is 9 and 8, 17. Plus this 3, 9, 1. Just add that. This will be 9, 7 and 7 will be 14. Carry 1, 3 and 3, 6, and this 6 it will be 12. And then carry 1, so it will be 17 here. Carry 1, 3. So it is point after 2 places. So it comes to 372. 372.49. This is 375. So slightly more than that. Let's try 19.4. So I'll do it here. 19.4 into 19.4. So 4 4s are 16. Carry 1. 9 4s are 36 and 37. Carry 3. So 4 1s are 4 and 7. Plus 9 4s are 36. Carry 3. 9 9s are 81 plus 3 84. Carry 8 9 again 17. And then plus this 4 9 1. What answer you will get for this? This is 6. This is 3. Carry 1. Carry 1. 17. Oh, it's going slightly above 375. It is coming as 376.36. We exactly need 375 or just below that, 374 point something. So what I'll do, I'll take right, this is 19.3, 19.4, I'll take 19.35. So let's try 19.35. So I'll do it here, 19.35 into 19.35. Just do this multiplication and you might get close to it. So 5 into 5 is 25, carry 2. This is 7, carry 1. 9 into 5 is 45 plus 46, carry 4. And 5, this is 9. Let's take one positive sign here. This is 15. 3 into 3, 10. And 3 into 9, 27 and 1, 28. carry 2, 3 into 1, and this 2, 5, plus, carry 4, 9 3s are 27 and 4, 31, 84, just carry 8, 9 1s are 9 and 8, 17, plus. Now again have to multiply this one with all the numbers here. So this will be 5, this will be 3, this will be 9, and this will be 1. So this will be 5 here, this will be 12, this will be 12 again, 24, carry 2, this will be 14, carry 1, 17, point after 1 2 3 4 places. So you are getting 374.4225. So this is around little bit less than 375. So you can take this value because 19.35 square is equal to 375, approximately 375. So T equal to 10 square into 19.35 seconds. So T is equal to, you can multiply this 100 with this, so it will become 1935. So 1935 seconds. Now this is the answer in seconds. Now you can convert that into minutes too. For converting it into minutes, you have to divide the seconds by 60. So you can divide this by 60, you will get as 32 minutes 15 seconds. So this will be the answer. So T is equal to 32 minutes 15 seconds, and this is the time required by Mahendra to move towards Virat by 1 centimeter distance. So hope you have understood whatever I have explained you in this video. This was the third part of chapter gravitation. Next part, the fourth part of chapter gravitation, will be learning about Earth's gravitational force and Earth's gravitational acceleration, which is also called as acceleration due to gravity, and we'll see its variation depending upon the position of the object. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel. It's Alfonso Academy. Thank you very much.